Hello guys, welcome back to Surviving Kampala. My name is Tendo, and last time we talked about how to teach yourself skills. We talked about self-teaching, and today I will begin our series of self-teaching by starting with how to teach yourself software development skills, how to become a self-taught software developer. So this also software development will be a series. I will do 3 parts. So there are very many resources I will share with you in form of steps. I will be sharing 6 steps I suggest to follow on becoming a self-taught software developer. So I will put the links of these resources in the description below. So let's get to it. The first step should be to find what you're curious about. Tech is wide. So what are you curious about in tech? Is it games? If you are curious about games, so it will be better you will start with game development. If you are curious about, for example, I love video games. I love so much video games. I play a lot of video games. I was so curious about how are these games made. So games became my entry point into software development. I was curious about how are these games made. So you should find what you're curious about, and if you get that thing you're curious about, that thing will be your entry point to game development. And secondly, you should know what type of work would you like to do as a software developer. Would you like to work for a big company? Because I would like to work for a big company like Facebook, Google. Yeah, would you like to work for a big company, or you like to freelance, be a freelancer developer? Or you have a problem, that problem you would like to solve, and you would like to do a startup to solve that problem. Yeah, so the first step is to find your end goal. Our second step is to choose your starting programming language. As our first step was to find your end goal, and to find your end goal is to find something you're curious about. As I told you, I was curious about game development, and game development became my entry point to software development. And so the second point to choose, I chose my programming language was I researched about what program languages do game developers use. I realized software is so important, has a big impact. I think I could solve a problem with software development. So I changed. So it's possible to change in this process. So I began as game developer, and I changed to web development, because I think with web development I can do an impact. I could solve a problem with web development. So my starting program languages were web development program languages. I started with HTML and CSS. So those were my starting programming languages. So our third step is to find resources to help you learn your first programming language. So you have found something you have found your end goal, and by finding your end goal you are curious about web development. Our second point was to find your first programming language, and you research about what are those programming languages do web developers need, and you found that you need to start learning HTML and CSS. And so our third point is to find resources. Remember yourself, teaching yourself. You need to find resources that can teach you these languages. And let me start with websites. There is a website called W3 School. It's a website which teaches programming languages. It's free. But if you want to get a certificate, you can pay for it. But for learning, it's free. It's called W3 Schools. It has so many programming languages, from HTML, it has C, it has PHP, it has very many programming languages. There are very many websites that are very good with teaching you programming languages, but I told you W3 Schools because it's what I used. And another website is YouTube. YouTube is full of very many channels, that teach you programming, any programming you would like to learn. So these channels I'll be telling you are the ones I use, and the first channel I love so much is called Travis Media. Travis Media I most recommend this to web developers because he teaches you crash courses of every web development languages, as in every language, HTML, PHP, and any new technologies that come with web development is on Travis Media. So for web developers, I would recommend Travis Media. And I would also recommend, there is another channel called Free Code Camp. It's a YouTube channel that is for any developer, any developer for any interest. Any interest, you just search for a language. What they teach you from knowing nothing to becoming a professional on that languages. It has 10-hour courses. That Free Code Camp, it's a YouTube channel. It has all languages, all languages, web developer, game development, Android development. So I would recommend Free Code Camp to anyone. Thank you for staying with me this far. So we are going to continue with websites on our next video. So please subscribe in order to be notified when I release the next video, in order to follow. Thank you for watching. This is Survive Kampala.